Hey there, everyone. That sexy nerd is back again. And we're watching... Actually, no, I can't even do this normally. He's doing Iron Man. Nostalgia Critic is doing Iron Man. Oh my God, probably... I can't even say. The original Marvel movie, one of the best Marvel movies. The movie that started the entire cinematic universe. This movie is a godsend. I cannot sing this movie's praises enough. I haven't watched it in a while, and I really feel now I'm literally feeling terrible that I have not watched that thing in a while. I mean, at least I don't break the commandments by watching 2 and 3 afterwards, because those movies are just awful, man. What happened? I don't understand how you can make this guy boring. I don't understand. I don't understand. Not even boring. It's just because, remember, it didn't even make him boring. Just everything else was. How do you mess up Whiplash? I think the only reason why these ended up, the sequels ended up being boring was because the villains were boring. Like, you literally couldn't get the actual Mandarin for the third one. Oh my God. I could probably go on and on and on and on about the Iron Man movies and how big of a disappointment they all were for hours. Why do you think we're still kind of... fans are still kind of like going for a Iron Man 4? So, I mean, like, there is... things to be salvaged from this. And I mean, did the Mandarin even show up? He showed up in Shang-Chi, and even then he didn't even seem like the Mandarin, but still better than what they did with Ben Kingsley, because again, Ben Kingsley set it up. He set it up. Everybody was so interested. We all wanted to see what he would do. And a modern retake, a terrorist version of the Mandarin sounds amazing. That literally could have ended with them nearly both dying. Like, they could have ended up where they're both at like a Mexican kind of standoff, and they end up being shot or damaged, and you don't know whether one of them is gonna live or die, and you just cut to black. I mean, come on, how could I come up with a better ending than some of these things? Pay me, Hollywood, pay me. But man, regardless, I'm sorry to be a negative Nancy about it, but the Iron Man movies, the first one was so good that it set up even set up the Avengers. That's the real Iron Man 2, by the way. Jeez. But anyway, yeah. Whew. That was a lot for me, but let's just get into the episode before I blow my top. So please smash that like button if you want to see more sexy yet nerdy content, and subscribe if you think I deserve it. And let's do this thing, y'all.
Hello, I'm the Nostalgia Critic. I remember it so you don't have to. Hard to believe one of the most successful, popular, and longest-running cinematic universes of all time. Start with a director coming off of a bomb, an actor scraping for roles, and goop punchline.
Goop punchlines?
There's no anniversary or special occasion for this. I think watching Zathura last week just got me going down the Jon Favreau rabbit hole, and I was just in the mood to look back on a film that led to what many considered impossible at the time.
Yeah.
That being turning big-budget movies into comic book-style serials literally based on comic books. Released in 2008, comic book films were just about to have one of their biggest peaks. With The Dark Knight literally coming out the same year, and like I said, this film...
Best year for comic book movies, wasn't it? 2008 is the best year for Iron Man and Batman. Like, just best for comic books overall. And not only that, I think we had the Hulk come out later that year. So, really good year for comic book movies.
About to launch a cinematic juggernaut. Sometimes with Juggernaut. But at the time, Iron Man was certainly known by the average person, but nowhere near as big as Batman, Superman, or Wonder Woman.
Same here.
There were no live-action shows around him. There was a cartoon series that most people didn't even know existed.
I watched it.
Even the name
Screw
Tony
you,
Stark
I watched
was
it.
not common knowledge.
I think just because you didn't know existed doesn't mean other people didn't know existed, because I knew a lot of people. A lot of my friends when I was a kid loved to watch that show. I never had a toy. I never got a toy, but I know I watched quite a few of them, and those were a lot of fun.
But with the Spider-Man and X-Men movies still holding their own Marvel thought it was time to take Tony out of his cave, so to speak, and thrust him into the spotlight. So, almost 15 years later, is this film deserving to have started one of the most profitable universes of all time? Well, let's take a closer look.
Yes, it is.
This is You know who he is.
Yeah.
Oh,
Hey,
right.
man.
This is before Mickey said, "Buy me that!" So we got a Paramount release. That must be why the Marvel logo isn't half the film's running time.
What?
So we got a Paramount release. That must be why the Marvel logo isn't half the film's running time. We open in Afghanistan, so you know it's going to start off low-key, as billionaire Tony Stark, played by Robert Downey Jr., is being transported by the military.
You intimidate them.
Good God, you're a woman. But you have actually excellent bone structure there. I'm kind of having a hard time not looking at you now. Is that weird?
I'll Frank into the back here.
Oh, shut up.
If I take a picture with you?
I don't want to see this on your MySpace page.
Oh, trust me, you won't! They're attacked, though, by some of the film's most delicious irony.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I really should text Bruce Wayne and say, now I know what you're talking about. He's captured by, oh, such a disappointing reveal later. And flashback to another...
You see? You see how pissed off that makes me? Wow.
flashback talking about Tony's rise in the weapons industry.
The passing of a titan. Howard Stark's lifelong friend and ally, Obadiah Stane.
Okay, even as comic book names go, Obadiah Stane is a little much.
To be fair, it's
What was
Stan Lee.
Ezekiel Harsh not available? Abraham Crush Push already taken?
Well, I'm not Tony Stark.
Jeff Bridges plays Jebediah Blemish. You know, look, that's so different from his usual attire, people didn't even know he was playing the part. Even Marvel, I think, forgot.
One side there, Lebowski.
Yeah.
Magazine. Can I ask you a couple of questions?
You ever lose an hour of sleep your whole life?
Prepared to lose a few with you.
To be fair, that might have been deliberate because, you know, Mickey the Mouse didn't own Disney at the time. So they probably were pretending that the first Iron Man, oh my God, they might even pretend that the first Iron Man movie was, not that it didn't exist, but they probably truly believed that they made it. He's like, I will not be outdone by Paramount, bitches!
Most of his time being cocky, spending money he clearly has, and being cocky.
You've been called the Da Vinci of our time.
Absolutely ridiculous. I don't paint.
And what do you say to your other nickname, the Merchant of Death?
That's not bad.
It probably goes without saying Robert Downey Jr. is beyond perfect in
Yeah,
this role.
beyond.
He's full of himself, but he has just enough charm and humanity that you want to root for.
Yes, yes.
Like, let's be honest, the Iron Man films, for all their profit, are, shall we say, uneven at best. It really is his charisma and perfect balance of likable and flawed that turned him into a timeless icon.
Literally
Truth
said
be
that at the
told,
beginning.
At the time, this was a bit of a risk. Most people know about his past problems with addiction, and before this film, he was getting work, but he was getting punchlines too. It's fitting this is a redemption story because through pure skill and clever choices, he really has turned things around to become, well, let's face it, a relatable hero to a lot of people. We love Tony and Robert as Tony because they both reflect our failings, but also how those failings can be turned around and create something that'll last long after them. On that note, what's Gwyneth Paltrow been up to lately?
You must be the famous Pepper Potts.
Indeed I am.
Shouldn't you be singing How I'm Your Guest or something?
What?
Tony still has you picking up the dry cleaning.
Occasionally taking out the trash.
Okay, honestly, Paltrow is another one that kind of plays this role to perfection. Her attitude, mannerisms, and both disapproving yet also admiring look she gives to Tony really does give what could have been a throwaway character a lot of dimension. We also get support from Colonel Rhodes, played by Terrence Howard, and Happy, played by Jon Favreau, thank God being less distracting than Tarantino's performances. Or other egomaniacs. For the small roles they have, they do a good job being the straight man to Tony's one-liners.
Poor Terrence,
What's
though.
wrong with
Terrence
you?
Howard.
I got caught doing a piece for Vanity Fair.
He really is the entire cast of Succession in one man, isn't he? He travels to Afghanistan while doing a weapons demonstration for the army. He gets captured like we saw before and is given basically a metal heart to keep him alive by another prisoner named Jensen, played by Sean Tube. The terrorists say they want the two of them to build a missile, and when Stark refuses, it goes about as well as you think. Oh, if only Iron Man were here! Oh, wait. So basically, this whole 20 minutes or so is about as perfect filmmaking as you can expect for something like this. Everything here is done right. Every emotion you're supposed to feel, you feel. His friendship with Jensen, his hatred for his captors, feeling the amount of time going by, his brilliant plan to act like he's building a missile when really he's building an escape plan just split into parts. Seeing Tony taken out of his glamorous world to witness what his weapons are being used for and being forced to make
fantastic.
more of them is the perfect setup for why he becomes who he becomes.
Okay, I'm going to say this right now. I'm telling you, it might have been a risk. I bet you the audition process just did it because they probably looked at him and they're like, yo, we could totally make him to look like Tony Stark from the comics. But then when they had him audition and he just played the role up to perfection and probably even beyond what they expected, there was no other choice that they could have done other than to hire that man.
And it's not like he's bratty at first either, like throwing a bunch of quips and insults and stuff like that. He immediately understands the gravity of the situation and treats it seriously, so it's believable. We're rooting for him because he does understand the danger, and therefore we feel the weight of what's going on.
It's not joking.
I know a lot of people love seeing him fly around and blow shit up, but for me, these are the best parts of the movie. When they say he has one day left to deliver, he has to move up his escape plan, but the terrorists catch on and kill Jensen.
Thank you for saving me.
Don't waste your lives.
I will partially honor that. I won't complain this entire sequence. I think they should have played the Black Sabbath song here. It's great in the end credits, but how cool would it have been with all this build up to finally see this suit, and the first thing you hear is, I am Iron Man! All pants would be splooged by that point.
Oh, yeah.
Seeing him get revenge here is so gratifying.
It is.
And all that is because of how effectively and patiently the previous scenes were done.
My turn.
We thank you, Lord, for this moment we're about to receive. Oh, fire. It's coolest when it flies. But the suit still has some bugs and conks out on him while taking off. He's eventually found, though, and taken back home.
I want an American cheeseburger. I want you to call for a press conference now.
Call for a press conference?
Yeah, Hogan,
What on
drive.
earth?
The people must know I was embarrassed being in the Shaggy Dog. They get him his press conference and... Burger King?
I know.
If I was a billionaire tortured by terrorists, I'm setting up a menu-style killing spree so the chef can make that cheeseburger as his last reflection of joy. That's the goddamn cheeseburger I'm getting! And he announces he's changing his ways.
I'm with the Strategic Homeland Intervention Enforcement and Logistics Division.
Cole,
Quite a mouthful.
I know. We're working on it.
ABC
Coulson.
is thinking of calling it canceled.
I
I came to realize that I have more to offer this world than just making things that blow up.
I can offer quips, and then things that'll blow up. I myself may blow up too. He says he's shutting down the weapons manufacturing division, which doesn't make Hezekiah Whiplash very happy.
Where is it? It's inside.
God, even with a badass suit and a cigar, nobody can make a Segway look good.
No.
What do you think the over-under on the stock drop is going to be? 40 points.
You remember back then, too? Everybody was trying to pull off the Segway. That's the only reason why he did it.
You got to let me handle this. We're going to have to play a whole different kind of ball now.
Trust me, before I made this film, I did a movie where I played a surfing penguin. I made good choices.
I don't even remember what the hell happened in that movie Surf's Up. And yet, this thing has been more memorable to me than that movie. I just remember the Shia LaBeouf, and I have this. That was it. Because I don't even remember how I got this. The fuck?
And I don't know whether to describe as horrifyingly romantic or romantically horrifying. Pepper switches out Tony's heart with an upgrade. For no other reason except she's the only one he trusts.
Don't ever ask me to do anything like that ever again.
I don't have anyone but you.
Also, if I ever need brain surgery, I'm having you be the doctor because I don't have anyone else to trust but you. I might have hit my head when I fell. Tony starts building the Iron Man suit in montages we've seen a million times, but A, we all love these montages, don't act like you don't. And B, Robert Downey really does breathe new life into them.
Receive 10% thrust capacity, chief lift. 3, 2, 1.
Pepper, can you sew my nose back onto my face? I don't have anyone else,
Yeah.
Oh,
Right,
man.
let's make this helmet look a lot bigger on the inside than it really is.
We're online and ready.
Start the virtual walk around.
Once he thinks it's ready, he tries taking it on its first test flight.
Sometimes you gotta run before you can walk. In 3, 2, 1.
Okay, it goes a little better than that as he flies around the city, but also flies so high that his suit freezes and he plummets. Not a great plan. He comes back online just in time, of course, and he arrives at home to see a gift from Pepper.
I always like that.
Aw, his heart is cold, empty, and non-functional. That is sweet.
Red hot red carpet is right here at the Disney Concert Hall.
Wait, they haven't bought me yet, have they? He shows up at the
That's
event filled
ironic.
with celebrities and watchers, and he does something he certainly couldn't have done at home, flirt with Pepper.
Be fair.
Sorry, I'm just too salty for this, Pepper.
To be fair, though, she wasn't wearing that dress. I don't know. The guy, I'm only making excuses for him because the guy is oblivious to damn everything.
He discovers, though, his weapons are being used by terrorists once more, but
See?
this time he's gonna put a stop to it. Yeah, actually, the same way he put a stop to it before.
But more effective.
This is another example of these effects don't look real, but they look good.
Yeah.
Oh, God, that was amazing! Very cool. Oh, man, that was really awesome, man. No notes.
Yeah, but no notes.
Harry sees him too and decides to take him down.
Mark your position and return to base. Roger that, ball.
Gets away and lets Rhodes know what's going on, and accidentally Pepper as well.
Let's face it, this is not the worst thing you've caught me doing.
What the hell? Oh.
Now that I'm trying to protect the people that I put in harm's way, you're gonna walk out?
You're gonna kill yourself, Tony.
Let me at least tell you of the flawlessness of this Ultron plan I got cooking up. But it looks like Joshua Splat is the evil mastermind behind everything, and he uses Stark's technology to incapacitate him.
A new generation of weapons with this at its heart.
They'll make snarky one-liners before they blow up, but they will be cheaper. He leaves them to die, but
How much?
one-liners before they blow up, but they will be cheaper.
$435?
He leaves them to die, but Iron Tin Man remembers he didn't need a wizard to get a heart, did he? If the first third is the strongest part of the movie, the last third is the weakest part. First off, it gives the one weird Pepper Potts line delivery. Seriously, I swear she becomes Mark Wahlberg from The Happening here.
My key's not working. It's not opening the door. Oh, wow. What's that? It's like a little device. It's like a thing that's going to pick the lock.
Look, I don't know if you guys have heard about this article in the New York Times about honeybees vanishing.
Second, I will love this guy as a main villain, but not as a surprise villain. It feels so good seeing Stark get revenge with the terrorists because you've seen the hell they put him through. But the final boss should be equally built up. Hell, more built up. And twist villains don't usually have that because they're supposed to be a surprise.
To be fair, though, he was the villain all along. And they had established that throughout the movie, and they had said, like, listen, like, he was the one who hired the damn group to do that in the first place.
A twist villain is good for a mystery. Whodunit? Can you figure it out? But they're not really that great for a big epic climax because you haven't spent that much time hating them. As such, when Solomon Smack has to say all these evil one-liners in his Full Metal Alchemist cosplay, it's kind of lame.
Actually, he does look like him.
I made some upgrades of my own! I love this suit! Collateral damage, Tony.
Yeah, guess I'm killing families in public now. I don't know. Sure, stocks won't be affected by this.
Damn.
Also, is he roaring?
Do not abide, dude, smash!
Even a T-Rex would be like, dude, you have to have better lines than that.
I never had a taste for this sort of thing!
It shows. Seriously, am I supposed to take any of this seriously? I just want him any second to shout, I am the Lino!
Come on, it's not that bad. That is not fair. That is literally not fair. That was way worse and way more disappointing than that villain. Because at the end of the day, he did not bring down the movie. Unlike, I guess he didn't either, but the movie was brought down regardless.
They short-circuit his suit, resulting in a, oh my god, Skybeam! I didn't know you went back this far. And he's taken out. The movie wraps up quick, but honestly, on one of the best notes a movie like this could.
Truth is, I am Iron Man.
What a great spot to leave off.
I know.
Imagine not knowing there's going to be other Marvel movies, an extended universe, any of that. You just have a guy tell the world his secret identity at the end of the first movie. What is going to come of that? And by God, what is going to come of that with this character? Also, it's pretty cool this little stinger legit earns all the hype it built up.
Yeah, it did.
Who the hell are you?
Nick Fury. I'm here to talk to you about the Avenger Initiative.
Still the greatest
If there's anything mermaids have taught me, it's that if you change the race, nobody's gonna see it. Sorry, MCU, there's just no money in this. And that was Iron Man. Flawed, but not in a major way. I do kind of wish...
To be fair, I always thought I'll say this right now. To be fair, I always thought that nobody ever got mad that Nick Fury was changed to be black because he was already changed to be black in a certain Ultimate comic books, and that's what they were based off of. So, and it's also Samuel L. Jackson. The guy was literally formed in the comic book to look like he does in the show, and then now they had an opportunity to do it in the movie. For comic book fans, that's a dream. It is, and it doesn't matter like what. And besides, the old Nick Fury was kind of lame, don't you think? I mean, come on, tell me in the comments. Did you really think that white Nick Fury was that cool?
The last third was as epic as the first third, but this is still a pretty decent origin story that led to a lot more epic moments, and man, again, this really is Downey Jr.'s movie. That's not all to say it's poorly written or directed or anything like that, but I feel like the mistakes would have stood out a lot more if his charm wasn't anchoring the whole thing.
Yes.
I don't know if there's ever going to be reboots of Tony Stark as Iron Man in the near or far future, but if there are, they have an incredibly hard act to follow with him. While I wouldn't say this is one of the great comic book movies, it is one that stands out because of what it started and, in some respects, the formula it set up. Yes, Marvel movies have varying styles, but you know everyone points to this saying it has to be in the same universe where this Iron Man can exist as well. Whatever style you go for, it can't be too different from this. And it's kind of neat observing that foundation all these years later. It's a good time, a good start, and over a decade later, still a good movie.
Oh, hell yeah. Hell yeah.
I'm a nostalgia critic. I remember. Hey, wait a minute. Next month is March. You know what that means?
What?
Pirates Month!
Savvy. Okay, good.
Oh, wow, what's that? It's like a little device. It's like a thing that's going to pick the lock.
I'm going to have words about Pirates Month because, again, what a disappointing franchise. Like, we start off from the first movie, which was a box office smash hit and everything and blah, blah, blah. The second movie was a worthy follow-up, if you could say that. That's the nicest comparison, but it didn't feel the same. Again, it's one of the first movies I ever saw that I was like, yeah, now I'm starting to finally notice bad movies. I remember when I was a kid, I would coast through. I would even watch The Magic Voyage and thought it was a good movie. The Magic Voyage. And you remember what he said when he covered that. But again, I remember when I was like 17 or when I was about 17, I started seeing movies that started affecting me like, wow, like this is awful. And I used to be a movie whore. Like, there's no other way to put it, but I was a movie whore. But again, I started seeing movies and I'm like, yeah, that's no good. No good at all. Shrek 3, Iron Man 2 and 3, the Pirates movies. But yeah, at World's End, I thought was okay. It was okay. I mean, I'm kind of a sucker for that movie, but again, I won't watch it over and over again because you got to watch the second one. I honestly thought that the second one wasn't that great. I thought the third one was a little better, but everybody's like, oh, the third one sucks too. I never saw the fourth one. And then the fifth one, I saw once. I laughed, I guess, but it was only because I couldn't scream anymore. But yeah, I love that. You see, it's about time too, because first of all, at least he's stopping this whole thing that he's doing with putting all the movies and wasting opportunities that he could make to, like, you could have made Shrek Month, Austin Powers Month, and so forth, and so Twilight Month, and so forth and so on. But he didn't take these opportunities to do it. I love you, Doug, but I don't think they're good. They're good uses of your resources. Like I said, unless you're planning to review the movies again later individually, I don't see the point of it. But maybe I'll be wrong. Maybe it'll be like that in the future. But again, I'm so happy he did this movie. It wasn't all about the laughs, but yeah, he still made his jokes. I love his review. I thought this movie was perfect. And honestly, I kind of like was wondering what the hell is taking him so long. He should have done it around the time Avengers Infinity War or Avengers what is it? Endgame came on. And that would have been like a closing of the chapter on all that. But, you know, I don't think he's that big of an MCU fan. But yeah, tell me what you guys thought of this movie in the comments. I really would like to know. I want to hear. I mean, even still, I won't get mad. I promise. But if you didn't dislike it, tell me why in the comments and why did you think so? But if you did like the movie, tell me all about it. And please smash that like button if you want to see more sexy, nerdy content, and subscribe if you think I deserve it. And I'll see you on the next episode.